Hey, welcome everybody. This is John Palmer, Dutch Talk Speed Selling. This is Raging Verbalist number 330. If you're keeping track, why wouldn't you be keeping track? We get together every week on YouTube and Facebook. The Facebook group is Position to Win Book, Position to Win Book. I believe it is. Go check it out and join us. Of course, talk about whatever hits my mind as being important enough to go through and talk about. Don't dive too deep into politics, but dive into other topics and subjects and things that, you know, pique my interest and get me going. Now, this is a special Raging Verbalist because we're doing it on a Thursday instead of a Friday, primarily because travel schedules have just made it so. That's just the way it goes. Now, I don't do a lot of product reviews. I don't talk a lot about that, but what I'm going to do is talk about something that is always an issue for me, which is charging my devices. You see, I am a big user of smartphones and I've been using cell phones forever and all of that. So I just wanted to kind of share where we are at the state of the art and also show you something that I discovered. It's on sale at Amazon now. No, I don't have a code, so you're going to just do whatever you're going to do about it. But I just want to show you kind of like where things are at, because when you travel as much as I have traveled in my life and continue to travel, what you discover is that you don't have an outlet when you need an outlet. You don't have power when you need power. And all I can tell you is whenever somebody says, well, John, these things last more than they did before, they do, but it doesn't mean that we don't use them harder, and push them to their limit and all of those things. So I'm just going to kind of go through some of the current crop of chargers. No, I couldn't find the chintzy 5 watt bullshit charger that Apple used to ship with phones. Now I don't have that available because I probably have banished it from my travel bags. But what I have done is that so here's Apple's little two connectors for this because I use an Apple M2 laptop, and it works fine. It's, I guess, 54 watts, so it's not bad, but it's a little bulky, and you got to be careful how you do it. I always carry, by the way, just simple thing to remember, that one is none. Shout out to Dave Freeze for plugging that into my head. Dave Freeze, good friend of mine. And it makes a lot of sense. I never have just one of these things. Made a mistake of shipping my wife off to Europe with her family with a single charger thing. Failed, failed miserably. It was, sucked. So, learned my lesson. Always carry one of these. This is by Anchor. Again, no affiliate code, but you got two regular outlets, and you got two USB A's and one USB C. And it's not as fast as you're gonna want it to be. I mean, fast means you have more power. But here's the cool part, you know, the little plug goes in the wall, and you got yourself what, five possible things. Remember, it's going to divide the power out. So that's just the way that goes. So check that out. My wife says, John, you're crazy to keep buying these things. They keep getting better. They keep getting smaller and better. The folks at Anchor have, done me right. So by the way, I mean, I never talked to anybody from them, but I mean, I just, as a customer and telling people if you're going to travel. So this little doohickey, and I believe this is 20 or 30 watts, I'm not sure. And by the writing is so tiny, I don't know. Anyway, but it's really good. It's a USB-C. The world is converting to it, even though there's a lot of shit that isn't that way. But the thing I like about it is, of course, these guys have gotten smart. You know, prongs that go into the outlet go down. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Now, the reason it prompted today's call, a couple things. First off, I have not one but two of these monsters. Now, this thing is probably a lethal weapon in some countries and everything. This is a power brick, and I got it from Amazon. Got two different kinds. And this baby I keep charged because I live in a place that the power goes out. Anybody who's been a fan of Raging Verbalist knows that I live in, South Sudan, known as Southern California, and the power goes out. It's nice when they send me, like they did the other day, hey, how did the power outage go? Did you have fun? Was it good? Bullshit. So I have like extra power everywhere because that's just, the nature of where I've gotten to. No, I don't have a whole house battery. Still saving up my centavos for that. And by the way, it's more complicated than, they show you on the happy, joy, blow smoke up your ass, bunch of fanboys about, battery on a solar system. I've got an older solar system, so my options are definitely different than others. But anyway, I am really a big believer in this. And in fact, it's something that when I travel, I always have this at least in the car. Little heavy, a little heavy. Carry it with you on a plane, so I don't do that. And then Anchor tossed something my way. They didn't toss it. Actually, I found it online, and it's this guy, which is an Anchor number one. Which I mean, we've been buying them for years, so I mean, I guess they've rolled the odometer over. But and yeah, I've already opened it because I checked it out. But this is their newest version, and it's, and by the way, they give you a little, quick start guide, which basically says plug the gizmo into the wall. I mean, I think I can figure that out. And then it also is a language course, doubles as a language course because we have lots and lots of different languages. And by the way, if you really want the real guide, you have to use the QR code. But anyway, that goes off to the side. But here's the latest version. Now this is 45 watts max power. Remember, whatever they rated at max power, just don't go crazy. It's got a display on it. It's got a little button so you can tweak the display and do some things. Only has one USB-C, but here's the really interesting thing. This can fold down. Now this is heavier by far than this. I mean, this feels like it's barely there. This is chunky, right? More power, more weight. That's the way it goes. Yeah, I know my green screen's going crazy. Now, but I'm going to tell you that this, now I haven't plugged it in yet, so we'll have to see. But this is something that I'm very excited about and went out and bought it. It's on sale. It's $40, but it's on sale for $30. I think it was $33 with tax. Got to pay the man. Got to pay the man. But the thing I like about it is that since it folds out to two different ways, that means you can get it plugged into an outlet, because that's the bitch of traveling, is that you never know. Now, I always have an extender cord with me. Where's my extender cord for demonstration purposes? Don't have one close by. I have an extender cord so I can plug it into the wall, but this thing will let me, maybe even drop that for, overnight trips and stuff. The point of it is that this lets me charge everything from my iPhone, my Android phones, my, headphones, AirPods, and even slowly my laptop. So I'm just telling you that this could be one connector to rule them all. But remember, one is none, so I would not suggest that. Now, while you're waiting for things to charge, and yes, you can use them while charging, I would suggest that you go and have a copy of this, because you should never leave home without this, which is most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. It just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize it, position to win. And people make this mistake all the time. They get into a deal, they get into something, and they never figure this out. This will really help you out. You can get it from Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, wherever books are sold. You go to my website, positiontowinbook.com, positiontowinbook.com. Ask me to sign it, and I'll sign it, and we'll send it off to you. Also, you can get it digitally. Of course, you can get it Kindle and Nook and Apple iBooks. The point of it is that you should always get yourself in the best possible position you can. Now, quick wrap up. All I can tell you is that if you do travel and you are really concerned about it, because see, one of the things, pet peeve, is I have friends, I have associates, I have clients that will have some ancient bullshit technology, 30 bucks, 30 bucks. Get with the times. And why would we do that? Because time is money. And the worst thing in the world is having somebody go, I got to plug in my phone, or I got to plug in this. How is it going really slow? Don't like that. And of course, I just solve this by continuously looking to upgrade. And all of these, by the way, I use them because when I take something out of rotation, I put it somewhere else in my house. Maybe I plug it into the car. Maybe I do something else with it. But what I always am trying to do is make sure that I have power wherever I need it. and it's safe insurance because I rely upon, as I'm sure you do, technology to make it through the day. I just want to thank you for joining me, John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Street Selling. This has been the Raging Verbalist number 330. Have a great day. Charge up. Make sure you're all charged up. Make sure that you're never at a loss for it, because I can tell you one thing: stuck in an airport, which I was, and looking for an outlet and not being able to find it and not being able to have the capability was a real bitch and a half. And what I did is I had one of these little gizmos, which I pulled out, and I said, look, let me use the outlet. I had to talk a very serious 25-year-old woman into letting me use the outlet. And I plugged it in, and she plugged in her stuff, and we had a charging party. Now, it probably slowed everybody down, but everybody got charged. And that was the most important part. So don't get caught without it. Go out there and do it. Again, I'm not making any money off it. All I'm just doing is telling you, don't be caught with a dead battery. Until next time, have a great one. This has been the Raging Verbalist 330. Or I guess we'll see you next week.